Forge gang! I am still a hard man! Let's go! It is I, Imperator of Forge, otherwise known as Forge Warhammer, the leader of Forge Gang, coming to you live. Alright, Beet Soup says, hi there, Beet Soup. Alright, so, I am cutting ties with the content leeches. Now that I've been thinking about it, as of late, there's probably a few other people that I need to probably ignore and walk away from because they are just leeches. They are not creators. They do not care about making content or creating and doing fun stuff. They're basically they're fun killers. They are content leeches, and they are like wasteful individuals that just like to leech off content and start drama. It's these people in these little tight, small communities that want to restrain creators and they want to leech off your content. They don't have anything original to add or to contribute. They have nothing of value to contribute, and they just leech off your content or off of other creators' content. And they want to restrain creativity, and they just want to contain you in like an echo chamber and get you to argue and react to them and stuff and cause drama. I mean, Impress's channel is a good example. Impress's channel is just basically uploads of these little contained groups that spurg out and argue each other for hours and hours on end over nothing really, nothing burgers. That's the kind of stuff that is killing the sector. Now, the sector isn't exactly what it was in the past. Obviously, it's not anything like it was in its golden years. So, yeah, it's, I know that some people say that the iDubbbz leaks or the things that iDubbbz did is a lot of the reason why the sector is in the state it currently is in. A lot of people hate the Kino Casino and say that it killed the sector too. You have a lot of channels that are talking about the Kino Casino and PPP and Warski and how they did a lot to kill the sector or kill the chill vibes in the sector. People say it's iDubbbz. Other people say it was Gator. I would say, and of course, a lot of people will say that Medicare was a lot of the reason for the sector becoming the way it is. That's why a lot of people went to Ralph, because they found Ralph to be like amusing and funny. Ralph is a lolcow. There's no doubt about Ralph being a lolcow. That's why a lot of people watch Ralph, because he's from the oldies, from Gamergate and stuff. And he's been around, and he's still streaming, he's still kicking it. And people will watch him, but otherwise, the sector's dead. But the reason why this sector is the cesspit that it is because of these content leeches. So, I'm waking up to this. It's a wake-up call for me. It took some time, but I do finally realize that there are these leeches that like to just basically leech off of content. Nothing at all to contribute, nothing original to really, nothing provoking, nothing original, nothing of interest, and they're not creators themselves. They just like to leech and cause drama. Another group of these visceral people is these people that start drama. They want to generate drama, and it's just such bullshit. They want to go back to like IBS. Look, IBS is dead. It's not coming back. Maybe there will be a second life or a half-life at some point for IBS, but it's done. Okay, that's what people like Soberman don't seem to get. People like Soberman, for example, he wants to go back to IBS. Euros MC is another example of wanting to go back to like IBS and this kind of wasteland, this IBS wasteland and lackluster content. That's another group of these people. These people are content leeches. They're uncreative, they're unproductive, and they're uninteresting, and they want to drive creators down to their level and put you into their little groups and get you to argue for over nothing and stuff with this drama and whatnot, and it's such a wasteful thing. I would say that the best thing to do is to cut ties with these people. Just cut ties with them. I did the right thing. I did the absolute right thing burning that bridge with the Foot Clan people from Surfer and PPP's old chat. Ghost of Niccolo was from PPP's old chat, so he's been around for a while. I know I might be sounding kind of like the daimyo or whatever. He was always complaining about this back in the day, but it really does. It drains the sector. It really does drain the sector. And then they try to fill in like they try to fill in the chasm with this like kind of old school IBS that's been dead for years. IBS is not coming back. The sector is just dying because of this. That's just my main personal argument, and it's time to move on. It really is. It's time to find some new forms of creators and entertainment, and actually try to move on past what the state of the sector was about maybe 3 years ago, 4 years ago, and come up with something new. And there are new players, but I don't personally think that the iDubbbz leaks are like what the Vickers tapes or the Vickers and the Ralph tapes, or like the stuff with the Kino Casino and all of that. There's a lot of patterns of what killed the sector. Like Mr. Medicare, he went downhill badly. Mr. Medicare went down tremendously bad, okay, and just basically came back to being a troll. Whether he is faking the cancer or if he does have cancer is not really that important, but Medicare has changed a lot in the last 6 years or 7 years, and he's just become old dead content. But you know, even he realizes that IBS is dead. IBS is gone. It's time to move on. But yeah. Anyways, there are these content leeches and just really toxic people. And I don't know about you guys, but I think it's time to cut ties with them. They're not interesting people. They're not particularly important either. They're bullshit. So anyways, let's see here. Beet Soup says, absolutely agree. Short form content killed most of the streaming industry. Yes, it did. That's why the VTuber industry, that's why VTubers are now the majority of live streamers. It's, if you ever look at like live streaming and who's actually doing it, over half of it is like just VTubers now. VTubers have come in and they have filled the chasm of the lackluster content from these stupid idiots not producing good content. That's why people watch VTubers now instead of instead of other live streamers because of what happened. Let's see here. Goat Corp says, LOL Coffee. Goat Corp says, word on the street is Hapa girls are the meta in 2026. Hapa girls. Oh, dude. Goat Corpse, you are so cringe. You are literally cringe. Donkey Lover 666 says, Forge Gang! Anyways, yeah. It's not just Ghost of Niccolo that's a content leech. Oh, no. It's many wasteful little individuals. And they're not even good at trolling. They're not even good at fucking trolling. So there's a reason why in about the last 5 years or so, or 6 years, that VTubing has really come of age and has really grown out. And why it is that people are starting to watch VTubers instead of like the old sector streamers is because of these people that want to go back to IBS, Internet Blood Sports, and they want to go back to, I don't know, 2016 when Medicare was at his peak. Medicare was at his peak around 2015 to 2018. They want to go back to that. They want to go back to that kind of stuff. Kino Casino never had a chance, okay? You place Kino Casino up against like a popular VTuber, I can't think of any example or something. The VTuber is going to win out, okay? Like, dude, these people destroyed the fucking sector. The iDubbbz leaks, the shit that Gator does, the lackluster, lazy-ass pill streams from Ralph and the Kill Stream, the lack of content, the absolute lackluster content of the Kino Casino and Andy Kotsky, and lackluster PPP. The absolute decline and sellout that is Mr. Medicare. Is it no wonder that VTubing has come into that and has taken all the viewers from that and has owned the set for the last 5 years? Okay, it sucks, but this is why the sector needs to get rid of people like Soberman. I'm using Soberman as a good example of a content leech. Soberman has absolutely nothing at all to contribute. He has virtually never said anything of relevance whatsoever. Soberman is a good example of what I'm talking about. He has absolutely nothing to contribute, and he is just there to basically be a time vampire, and just to leech up as much attention as he can. Soberman is a fucking attention whore. Another attention whore and drama queen is like Dark Ninja. He is such a attention-arousing drama queen. It is so pathetic. And this is what, sadly, the sector is turning into. It's turning into that. And then there's the people that want to bring back Internet Blood Sports. That's never going to happen. We've already passed that by. The times when Internet Blood Sports is really good is probably just before a presidential election, like 2015, 2016, 2025, and 2024. Times like that, that's the best time to probably have Internet Blood Sports. Another good one when Internet Blood Sports is really good is when there's like some conflict or controversy going on, like in Gamergate with Gamergate and stuff like that. All other times, Internet Blood Sports is a waste of time. It is completely pointless But yeah, anyways, getting back to my point, I've had to cut ties with some really visceral, toxic individuals that their whole getup is, ha ha ha, I'm racist. Ha ha ha, I'm racist. I wear a pillow on my head. Ha ha ha, look at me, I'm so edgy. I'm like an edgy teen that wears a pillow and racist. Okay, nice. That's not cool. Okay? If you're going to be a live streamer or a game streamer or anything, you're going to have to come up with a much more creative vibe than that. But anyways, that's just my point. That's really about it. The Great says that Niccolo was a VTuber psyop. Donkey Lover says that Niccolo was friends with Forge Gang, that Forge Gang made along the way. Yeah, he was one of those content leeches that basically could not make anything original on his own, so he had to latch on to something that he thought was meaningful. Donkey Lover says that Rick Perry, for example. Goat Corp says, wow, that's literally me. Ha ha. Read Galdy's chat, you scumbag. I can't see it. I literally cannot see what any of those guys are posting. YouTube keeps jennying my gym chats. Anyways, at least in regards to the sector, I would say that Medicare is still the most successful streamer. Like, Mr. Medicare is the only person from the sector who could actually make a living. That could actually make a decent living doing this stuff. Like, everyone else in the sector that tries to do it is not going to make a business or like make a success in doing this. Maybe the Kino Casino will have a better chance at some point, but who knows. Anyways, I am Imperator Forge, and I am the leader of Forge Gang, and this has just been my thoughts about cutting ties with toxic, worthless trolls and content leeches. Anyways, that's all. Bye.